All right, promise you just passed the PMP. How do you feel right now?
Absolutely amazing.
All right, that is awesome. All right, so let's just jump right into it. You had a journey, ups and downs. What made the difference? You failed the first time, you passed the second time. What was the big difference to help you get through this time?
The biggest difference was my mentality and my mindfulness for this exam. When I took the last exam, I was not in the right frame of mind. There was a lot going on, both personal and work related, and it just caused me to focus on that more. So this time I really dedicated myself to the process that you guys have put in place, all of the framework, the coaching calls, the hard questions made easy, really dedicating time to that, but also taking time to focus on mindfulness. And it made the biggest difference during the exam, because there were times where I was questioning my answers and wanting to really prove myself, but I kept focusing on, okay, you can't focus on what the outcome is going to be. You have to focus on each question individually. And that made the biggest difference and impact this time.
That is awesome. That's cool. And so we have that module in the course. It's like building emotional resilience. Is that how you got into this thing? Because that's been a recent addition, but did that help? How did it help? Talk me through it, please.
Yes, absolutely. That made a really big difference. It's something that you think about. I know one of the things that you had mentioned, and I can't even remember which video it is. There's so many videos, but one of the videos that you had mentioned was when you're in that zone of taking the exam, you're going to have those ups and downs, and you have to be prepared for that. So taking that course and learning about that emotional intelligence and mindfulness, and learning about you and what's going to feel like success for you, all of those little things add up to the big picture. So it really makes a big difference to focus on those little things like your mindfulness, or paying attention to how you're feeling when you take a module or take a quiz, and really take time to reflect and do that. It gives you the resilience you need in order to pass the exam.
Wow, that's awesome. Was the process of realizing that and going through it, was it, you don't have to share too much if you don't want to, but was it difficult to face it and realize that in yourself, or anything?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's always difficult to be vulnerable. It's difficult to be vulnerable with other people, but it's even more difficult, and sometimes people don't realize that, to be vulnerable with yourself and realize that maybe what's holding you back is you, and that's the only thing holding you back. If you push for those goals, you will reach them. You just have to believe in yourself enough to do so. And going through all of those nuances really helped me identify my weaknesses, but also what my strengths were, and focus on those, and building that resilience throughout the process helped build the resilience in the exam. One of the things that I did right before the exam, because I did take it in the afternoon, was to really spend the time and meditate and get in my own head and focus on how I'm feeling, what questions I might have. And I think I YouTubed a video on exam day meditation. Okay. And I found a meditation on YouTube. It was phenomenal. And one of the best things that was said in that video is, do not focus on the results. Oftentimes we focus on, if we achieve this result, then we will be this, or if we pass, then this will happen, or if we fail, then this will happen. You can't focus on that when you're taking the exam, and you can't focus on that the day of the exam. Focus on each question individually, and it made a big impact. And I believe Salvador, my coach, one of the things that he had said was, when you're taking the exam, you might hear a voice in your head. It might be mine, it might be Scott's, but it'll be the voice coaching you through the questions. And it is so true. I heard your voice the entire time I was taking the exam, and I was just listening to the questions and just reading it. and going through each answer and really taking the time to do that. And it made a huge difference.
That's awesome. Like you were talking about, like, that's deep. Like you're talking about listening to yourself and slowing down. And then like, talk to me more about like, and I know we have a hard stop in a little bit, no big deal. Not focusing on the end result, because you said like, a lot of people think like, if I pass this, I'll be this, or if I fail this, I'm going to be a failure. Or like, there's this big like cliff. Like, how did you change your mind to get away from that, like eureka or death kind of feeling?
One of the things that was helpful was to take a step back and look at why I wanted this certificate. What was the reason behind why I wanted this certificate? Was it for someone else or was it for me? Who did I really want the certificate for? And for me, I wanted it to prove to myself that I could accomplish that goal, to prove to myself that I can do this when I put my mind to it. And there was a lot of steps that I had to take in that journey, but most of it was just slowing down, taking the time to understand that just because I didn't pass it the first time does not mean I can't pass it this time. Does not mean that I can't achieve something greater than what I had originally planned. And all these things are little stepping stones that made a big difference. Taking that step back, saying you can achieve this, just positive affirmations. So doing positive affirmations every day to ensure that I was telling myself that I could do it. So being that own positive light, and then having that back of friends and family just encouraging you along the way was helpful too.
That's awesome. This seems like, I mean, not to make too much of it, but has this like grown in your regular life, like handling like regular stuff, not just like, hey, I got done with PMP, back to the old way of thinking, or what?
Yeah, absolutely. I think when we take time to focus on our personal mindset and well-being, it doesn't just affect the exam, it affects how we handle everything.
Right.
And I think project management is in itself a way of handling and solving problems. So it is a great mindset to have to carry with you, not just as project manager, but in everyday life. So it's definitely a stepping stone that has made me a better person.
Dude, that's a big deal. You're making me cry. It's a big deal. It's cool to see like the transition in you, like, not to be dramatic, but it's a big deal. Like, did you ever worry, like after you failed, like maybe I'm not good enough, maybe I can't do this, maybe this isn't for me?
Oh yeah, absolutely. That was probably the mindset I had. Let's see, I took it in, so this is like a full year transformation. I took it in August the first time and failed, and then took it in August the second time and passed. So for a few months, it was that constant battle of, you can't do that, like that you failed, you can't do it, you're not good enough. And I took quite a few months to take a step back and focus on that. Like, why did I feel like that? Who was making me feel like that? Was someone telling me that, or was I telling myself that? And it was all me. It was all me telling myself that. And I had great friends and family that were backing me up and said, the only thing that keeps you from achieving a goal is you not doing it. And that's what I tell my kids all the time. So I had to take a dose of my own medicine and say, if I'm going to tell my kids that they can achieve anything if they put their mind to it, then I have to show them they can achieve anything if they put their mind to it. And the best way for me to do that is to pick myself back up and do this again.
That's awesome. I remember when you failed. Like I had just moved in a new house and I was in like the new room, and then I heard, and you took the test at night the first time, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I was worried. I was worried. I would say the truth. I don't get emotional, but I get emotional all the time. But I was worried. Like I was like, shit, man. She's working like a full day. She got kids. She got a lot on her shoulders. She wants this like really, really badly. Hadn't had anybody fail in a long ass time. And I was like, like something in my heart was like, oh God. But then I was like, dude, I know she can do it. And we got the bad news. But I think like part of it was like, I'm so proud that you like bounced back. And then the second time, did you take it at night or did you take it in the morning or what'd you do?
Well, the only time that was available was 4:45.
In the morning or at night?
At night. That was the only time.
Okay. 4:45 in the morning's crazy. 4:45 at night.
Yeah.
So the second time, like you got a crazy life, you got kids, you got family, you got work. How did you, was it just like kind of centering yourself and being ready to handle that?
I studied for 2 weeks straight. I studied 4 hours a day, every day for 2 weeks straight. Work a full day and then go right into studying. And I'd be up probably till 10, 11, 12 o'clock studying, but I knew that I had to put that time in. Yeah. And my family was dedicated to it. We all talked about it before I started studying and we're like, okay, here's the game plan. I'm going to need to have this time to focus. And because I need this time to focus, you're going to have to leave me alone for a little while. You have another parent, go ask dad to help you. And so we just had that agreement that this is how we were going to do it. And there were some hard times in there, most definitely. And there were some times where I needed to be like, you know what, I just can't do it tonight. I need to take a step back. Yeah. I'm exhausted. And then I got rest and realized that sometimes you can't go full force all the time. You need to take a break.
That's true. Let your brain like kind of breathe and marinate and bring back.
And I realized when I took the time to take that step back and recognize that, I was retaining the material so much more.
Nice. Just so because like taking the time or the way you're looking at it or this perspective that you had, what was helping you?
Definitely the new perspective of I'm really going to focus on my mindset and reflect each day. How do I feel after I've done this tutorial? Do I feel like I've got it or do I still have questions? If I still have questions, I'm going to go back and watch it again.
Love it. And then I know you got to go pretty soon. Like Salvador, like he was with you the entire time. I'm gonna edit this part out. I shouldn't be crying. I got something wrong with me, dude. And so like, how did Salvador, like the help from Salvador help you?
I think how solemn he was. He was sound in his judgment when it came to this is the way that, or this is the best plan that you can take going forward. Yeah. This is where you need to put your studying time in. Because he was sound in that and was confident that that's what I needed to do. It made me confident that that's the path I need to take. And I took the time to do that. So I studied everything that he said to do, followed the plan exactly. And was there a day or two where I had to roll over into the next day? Absolutely, because life happens, right? Yep. But the main thing is that I stuck to it. And the last week before the exam, I hardcore studied waterfall and agile all over again. Yep. Those main points. And as soon as I was getting that 70% consistency or above on those practice tests, I felt confident that I had it.
Nice. That's awesome. And then, okay, so I know you got to go. Appreciate the time and the insights. There's probably people out there that like resonate with you, had these feelings, maybe failed, maybe feel like they're going to fail, scared. It's kind of affecting them like personally. It's not a good feeling. Mm-hmm. What would you say to those folks?
Try and focus on your mental health and well-being and reflect each day on how you're feeling as you go through the modules. Mm. Take the time to recognize that some days you're not going to feel good about it and some days you are going to feel good about it. And those ups and downs are just part of every day. Yep. In the exam, the best thing you can do is not to be attached to the results. Whether you win or lose, it's how you play the game.
Right. Right. That's awesome. Well, promise, I know you got to go to a meeting. I really appreciate this. Will not be the last time we chat. So thank you very much. We're very, very proud of how you did. And good job. We'll see you later.
Thank you.
See ya. Bye-bye.